That should have got your attention. All the solo travel advice you hear online is either fucking bullshit or just overwhelming. Advice like, oh, don't travel alone to places like Thailand or Bali. You'll get either kidnapped or robbed. Nah, just solo travel. It'll change your life, bro.
You gotta plan this trip months in advance.
What do you mean fucking plan? Just book the flight and wing it, bro. You'll make it there safe and sound. You gotta stay in social hostels. It'll be a life changer.
Nah, don't even stay in hostels, bro. They're full of Ibiza British cunts.
You need a lot of money to travel alone. I don't know why you're doing it. What money? You can travel with one singular Vietnamese dong. And it actually makes you think like, what advice is the best? What advice is absolute dog shit or the worst? And what advice is actually up to your interpretation? After traveling solo myself across 10 different countries in 41 days, I've been through it all. I've been through the highs, the lows, made a shit ton of mistakes and everything in between. And so I wanted to make this video for you guys to cut through all the bullshit and make it clear once and for all which advice is good and which advice is bad. We'll get right into it right now. And we get to the rankings of the tier list. So you have S tier advice. This is absolute cinema advice, absolute gems. This will make or break the trip, and this is advice you fucking need. Like, trust me, you need this 100%. A tier, this is like smoking a good blunt. There's some really good shit. It'll enhance the trip, make it 10 times better. And yeah, it's good to have. B tier, you know, is good. Star advice. It'll enhance the trip, not as much as A tier, but it's just nice to have, good to have, you know, like a friend who's just chill, cool to be around. C tier, it's alright. You know, you eat a burger. You know, it's nothing crazy, not mind-blowing, not terrible. It's alright. And more situational advice would go in this tier. D is trash advice. Chuck that shit away. Don't really listen to it. Also keep in mind, this is all my opinion, so take it as you need, but this is just trash advice. You don't fucking need it. Throw it in the bin, get it out of the way. And F is absolute dog shit, bullshit advice, which I really hate, really don't like. And I don't think it'll benefit your trip. It'll make the trip even worse. And it'll suck if it's advice you take on your first solo trip. So without further ado, let's get started. First piece of advice is the idea of the lone wolf, or you have to be completely alone because it's a solo trip. And to this I say absolute fucking dog shit, to be honest. If you're landing in a country alone, it doesn't mean you have to solely be alone and not talk to anyone. There's people to talk to, there's experiences to be had, especially if you're going to a very social place like Bali, Thailand. There's so many friends, experiences that will be better if you have someone else there. But of course, this is my opinion because I like to travel to a new country and be with different people. But to me, this is just absolute dog shit. You don't need to be completely alone the entire time. Sure, for moments and periods, like a couple of days, like, okay, you need time to yourself, you're sick of partying for too long, or you just need that alone time. Understandable. At the end of the day, you know, you have 2 eyes, 1 mouth, 2 ears. I have no idea where I was going with that, but you can talk to people. You have a mouthpiece, you know. So I'm gonna paste this shit in absolute dog shit. Another piece of advice I hear is the idea of just wing it, bro. You don't need a plan. Get that trip booked, book the flights, book the accommodation, book whatever you need, just wing it. And to this, I say it's kind of situational depending on the type of traveler you are. Like if you're the type of traveler that needs to plan like step by step by step by step, then this is probably F tier advice for you. But if this is like your first solo trip, and probably in general, I'd probably put it in B tier. And let me explain to you why. I think it's good to just wing it at times because a lot of the times we overthink a lot. Like, oh shit, like, is it going to end up bad? Oh, what's going to happen here? Oh shit, your brain, like, it makes a lot of thoughts that you don't want to hear. And to block out all the noise and just go for it and just be there and figure things out. I'm sure it'll make for really cool adventures and moments. And this is also something I'll lean into, the idea of the fuck it moment, where there will be situations on your solo trip where you could be tired or you're just kind of thinking like, ah, shit, should I do this? It's not really something I'm comfortable with, but I kind of want to do it. And in those moments, you got to say, yes, fucking do it. Don't search this up. My fucking moment in Europe was I went to Kit Kat Club. It's a chocolate bar. It's a chocolate bar. Don't search it up. But that was probably one of my biggest fucking moments when I went solo travel in Europe. But yeah, it's good. It'll enhance the trip, but you don't need it. The third piece of advice, next piece of advice here is trust your gut instincts. And to this I say, this is really good shit. I was going to put it in S tier for a moment, but I thought about it and I realized sometimes your gut feeling can be wrong. But I say probably like 99% of the time is correct. Like for example, you know, there could be someone who he just doesn't feels wrong for some reason. Your gut is telling you like, I don't really want to hang out with this guy. But I've also had moments where I was wrong. Like there was this guy in Bali from Dubai. Like I kind of thought like, he's not really someone who's that cool, like that I would get along with that well. But I hanged out with him more. You know, we went out partying. He was a sick guy, man. Like he was buying everyone drinks. This rich Dubai guy, apparently he was a flight attendant, but I saw on his iPhone notifications he had investment stocks, so I knew this guy was bullshitting when he said he was just a flight attendant. But I think this is actually some really good shit, but there are also times when your gut instincts are wrong, like this instance right here. So I'm gonna put in A tier. It's like smoking that good blunt is really good shit. Trust your gut instincts. Especially on a first solo trip, you kind of need it, but you also got to understand sometimes that, you know, your emotions can overwhelm you so much that your gut instincts could be misaligned to what you really want. So number 4, we got get accustomed to the culture. And this is something which is useful, but you don't really need. And for me, I think I was going to put it in A tier, but I put it in B tier because, for example, places like Japan, you need to be respectful to the culture. You know, you can't be like Logan Paul and be creating a scandal or anything. But I know if you're watching this long and made it this far in the video, you're not this brain rotted person. And I know you can be respectful to the culture. So it's good to understand the customs, good to understand what good etiquette is. For example, in Japan, you wouldn't drink on the streets. They have a really strict law with drinking compared to here in Australia where you can fucking grab a beer and drink on the streets if you want. Or for example, being quiet on the trains in Japan and a lot of Asian countries. A lot of Asian etiquette is being kind of polite, being more quiet and more reserved compared to countries like if you go to Brazil or South America. I haven't been there personally myself, but I hear that it's more vibrant, more exuberant, more loud. And to understand this is like, it's good social awareness and it's good to have. So I put it here. Get accustomed to the culture before you travel, but don't overthink it and just kind of use your common sense. Just don't be a fucking idiot. Next piece of advice is budget airlines are worth the hassle. So we got my boy Ryanair here. That's a pretty cheap airline in Europe. And this is kind of going to be a C tier because it kind of depends. I haven't had any nightmare experiences with budget airlines because I've only been to one. I mean, I've been to Jetstar. Some of it's kind of shit. It depends because if you're broke, then this is probably like S tier because, you know, it's worth the hassle. You know, you just want to get out there and fucking go for it. But sometimes the airline experience, you can kind of fuck up when you get to the country on the first day. First couple of days, you kind of don't want to overwhelm yourself because it'll make the rest of the day, the rest of the trip worse. Say, for example, if you're going for 7 days to 2 weeks to a month, but maybe I'm exaggerating here, but I think it depends on the situation. It's alright. Good for if you're on a budget, probably S tier if you're on a budget, but probably F tier if you're like more expensive. But in general, I think like, you know, if you have the affordability to do so, go for it. Next piece of advice, going to rural areas or taking the time to go to more local or rural areas. And probably for those who want to travel for the first time, I think this is good advice. And it also sound like a broken record here, but it kind of depends on the person. But I think it's good to see the local areas because, you know, you're in a new country, you want to see more of the local cuisine, the local people. For example, in Japan, you want to go, I think it was Okinawa. Can't remember, like there's more remote areas in Japan which are, I hear, absolute gems or like really cool. Like I had a friend who went to Japan. He mentioned something about bike riding in Okinawa or some place near Mount Fuji. I don't think that's that rule, but I think this is really good to consider. And I think it'll enhance your trip for sure. You know what? Maybe I'll put it in A tier because I thought about it. Like a lot of the tourist trips, they're cool and all that, but I think the experience of the local environment is really what makes a solo trip good. So I think I'll put it A tier, some really good shit. And we got my boy, next piece of advice, using map navigation. Oh fucking no need to think about this shit. Absolute gem. Like if you don't travel with a map at all, if you want to challenge yourself, sure, if you know the language a bit and you're like, fuck it, let me challenge myself, let me know how to get to it, A to B to C. But if you're going somewhere like Japan, anywhere in Europe or just fucking anywhere, like having a map is like a must have. And in some places, like I've been recently to Korea, you're gonna use a different map application or like a different map app on your phone, because Google Maps sometimes sucks ass, and using these other apps are useful depending on the country you go to. But this is absolute gem. Sometimes you'll find some really cool places nearby, and you need this, man. Like, I don't know how you would travel without a map unless you're having a physical one on your hand and being a fucking boom or something. Next piece of advice, essential for all you first-time travelers: get an eSIM. Get an eSIM. Get an eSIM. Get a digital eSIM. Get a physical eSIM. This will allow you, for those who doesn't know what an eSIM is, or for those of you who don't know what an eSIM is, this basically allows you to use the internet when you're overseas. You want to do this beforehand, like maybe a day beforehand, because you want to get it set up, and then when you arrive on the day, it will automatically set up the phone to the location you're at. It will have a different provider service, and you don't have to worry about it. I remember the first day in Japan when I went, I used Amasim's eSIM, but it got fucking trashed, and because of that, I was quite stressed because I needed to navigate and talk to my Uber guy who was going to bring me to my hotel. But I didn't have an eSIM, and I had to rely on the airport Wi-Fi, and that was a bit of a headache. But I eventually got it figured out, and I don't want you to go through the same stress. Buy an eSIM. I think Air Elo is pretty good. There are probably other providers you can search up, but you need this 100%. And next piece of advice is, this is an interesting one. My friend kind of told me about it recently. He said a friend who also solo traveled to Taiwan mentioned dressing similarly to how the locals are. And I kind of thought about it, and for me personally, like, my dress sense isn't like fucking magic tier. I don't have a goddamn amazing drip, but I think it's generally good advice. But you know, if you want to go all blinged out, not too blinged out, then sure, go for it. But there are some countries where, you know, you don't want to be too blinged out because you'll get robbed. Like, I hear Venezuela. I mean, I don't know if you can even go to Venezuela, but I'm sure those countries, like, there's more areas which are more suspicious, which you don't want to be flashing your Gucci or your goddamn rings or anything of that sort. So this is general good advice. It's also kind of cool if you want to see how different people dress up. Like, I'm sure anywhere in Europe, in France, in Italy, in Switzerland, in Spain, like, they have a really cool dress sense. And yeah, this is more preference, but I'd say, you know, it's general good advice. You can dress similarly to locals. Maybe I'm just a bit of an NPC here, a bit of a normie. Now, this next advice here, which is getting a security bag, I just think it's fucking trash. Like, it's not absolutely terrible, but in my opinion, it kind of makes you stand out as a tourist, and yeah, it's like boomer shit, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you don't need a security bag. Maybe you can have a little duffel bag, maybe more something in trend, but I don't know, maybe a security bag in the sense of like a duffel bag, that would be cool, but it just makes you stand out a bit too much. You think it will make you more secure, but it will just make you stand out more. So I think it's just general trash advice, like, just dress up normally. You don't need to stand out by having a security bag. Next advice, having medicals. Oh my god, this is if you don't travel with any medicals, you must be like the Liver King or Wim Hof breathing in the Antarctic, like, because you need this, otherwise you get sick. Or if you have like some medical condition or anything, like, you need medicals, you need your pills, you need fucking headache medication, fever medication, whatever. Like, it's pretty, it'll break your trip if you don't have this, because, you know, what if you can't buy the medication there because of one particular reason? Like, having it beforehand is a must-have. Overpacking. This is ST advice in general, because a lot of people overpack too much. I made that mistake probably. I went to 10 different countries. I overpack still. Sometimes I'm thinking like, oh shit, I'm scared I have too less clothes, but I only wear maybe at best half of the clothes I have, or at worst probably like 1/4 of it. So trust me, you're packing way too many items. You don't need as much as you think you do. And if you don't believe me, make the mistake yourself. Go on that first solo trip and you'll come back, you'll think, okay, you know, Jason's right. maybe overpack too much, or maybe you're the type of person to underpack, which is kind of rare. I don't really see people do that as much. Like you're packing like two shirts for like 40 days, which is like, I don't know how you're gonna fucking get through that. But in general, overpacking is something a lot of mistakes beginners do, and a lot of mistakes solo travelers do. So don't overpack. This next piece of advice is pretty interesting. It's the idea of don't revisit a country. And to that I say, I think just trash advice, because unless, actually no, maybe I'll put it as C. There are some countries which I've heard online, like, you know, more war-torn countries like Afghanistan, Venezuela, but these are countries, North Korea, countries which, you know, you wouldn't really want to go back to. But in general, there are like 90% of the countries in the world are pretty cool, and there's no reason why you want to go back. Like I have a friend who's been to Japan 4 times in a row. There's probably places in South America, Europe, anywhere in the world which, you know, you go once, maybe it doesn't hit as much, but you go again and it's like, okay, this is really cool. But I don't like the idea of never doing or never revisiting a country, because, you know, it's a one and done. You know, you can go back to it, you can enjoy it. Maybe you see shit you haven't seen before, because you take a trip for, say, a week, you come back to your hometown and you're like, hey, there's way more shit I can do. Like, this is only like a small droplet of what I've done in a big ocean of things I can do. Let me rephrase that. This is what I've done in 7 days is a small drop of water in a vast ocean of things I can do. That's the best way I can word it. But yeah, this is situational advice. I was going to put it in trash, but this is actually pretty situational, depending on your experience and where you go to. Okay, next one. We got my boy travel insurance. Always get travel insurance. You never know what could happen. You could have some idiot punch you in the face. You could fall off a bike. You could fall somewhere. You could damage something, damage an eye. Like, this is, I'm gonna be serious here. You need travel insurance. It doesn't cost that much. You don't have to be that stingy with it, and it'll save your life. I'm not gonna lie, it can save your life, and you need it. You need that insurance that you'll be safe and you have security. Like, I'm sure if you don't have travel insurance in America, you got to pay like an arm and a limb just to get health medicals. So that's something you need. Next one, this is a pretty interesting one. You have to do all the must-dos on your first solo trip, or during your solo trip. And to this I say, I wish there was something in between B and C, because I'm going to put in B from what I've noticed. A lot of people, you probably see on Reddit, on YouTube, they kind of advocate, oh, go on your own lane, do what you want to do. But some of it is a bit wishy-washy, because you want to kind of experience the must-dos. The best thing I can think of is in Japan, like Shibuya Crossing, Don Quixote, the bars, the clubs, ramen, sushi, all the fucking normal things you think you must do, like Mount Fuji, going to Kyoto, seeing the temples, Shinkansen, fucking, I can name it forever. But I think doing the must-dos is cool, because you can talk with the other friends who, you know, they ask you like, oh, like, how was it? Or, you know, you want to experience yourself first time, like the must-dos, get it over and done with, and then you go back and you're like, okay, I can experience more of the niche stuff. That's my opinion, but I think it's just good to do, because you experience a lot of what other people experience. Unless you want to be a bit of the outlier and experience a totally different outcome, then go for it. But in my opinion, like, the must-dos are must-dos for a reason, and that's why it's good to do. The idea that you only travel to countries or places if it's the best season, and to this I say, trash. I myself went to Europe a couple months ago for 21 days. It was winter. It's probably like not the best weather, because I went to Spain, I went to Budapest, I went to Czech Republic, Poland. These are places which are like pretty fucking cold, and I live in Sydney, Australia, where it's like blazing hot. So to go from blazing hot to pretty fucking cold, it's not something people would naturally think to do, but I did at a time where, you know, I wanted to experience Europe, and if I listen to this piece of advice like, oh, you can only go to a country in this busy season, it's gonna be fucking shit if you don't, it's just trash, man. Like, if you want to go for it, go for it. Don't let anyone else dictate, you know, the season. But there is some merit in what people say in that, in terms of, you know, the best season will lead to seeing more shit which you wouldn't be able to see. Because I remember the first day I went to Spain, in Barcelona, it was trash. It was trash rain. Like, it was absolute worst rain. It was so windy. It made me so anxious. Already combined with the jet lag and the anxiety of wanting to meet people on the first day and thinking I'll be alone the entire trip. But the rainy weather kind of made the atmosphere a bit harsher for me. So there is some merit in that, but in general, like, I think it's just trash. You can go whatever season, anytime you want. Just fucking go for it. Next piece of advice, I think it's just absolute dog shit. The idea that you need to be fluent at a language before you go to the country. And I don't even know who says it. Maybe you can put in the comments below if you've heard this advice before. But I don't believe you don't need to be fluent in a language of that country to go there. A lot of people speak English. And unless you go into somewhere really rural, I hear like Mongolia, a lot of people don't speak English there. Maybe I'm wrong. But English is like one of the most universal languages. And if you're not an English speaker, then I can kind of see that. But I mean, I don't know how you'd be up to this point in the video without knowing English. But in general, I think it's just trash advice. I think it's just copium. Like, you're sniffing like copium, like, oh, I need to do this, do that, do blah, blah, blah. You need to wait for the perfect moment before you can go to a country. But you don't need to. A lot of people can... Communication is like 80% non-verbal. You can search up the stats. I'll probably pop up the stats right here, but communication is 80% non-verbal. You can communicate with sign languages, doing the other fucking, no, just doing anything like that. But yeah, absolute dog shit. This is a funny next piece of advice I'm gonna put here. The people who say, oh, just party every night, bro. I think this is more of a fun one because you won't really get that advice, but you know, for all the party animals, all those guys who, you know, want to experience the party culture, nightclub culture, fuck around, do whatever you want. I think this is I think for me I think I'm a bit biased because for some reason every time I go to an overseas country, like I went to Bali, I went to Europe, I always like to experience the nightclub scene because I'm always staying at party hostels, social hostels. Oh fuck, I don't know how I didn't have a hostel thing here. Oh my god. Wait, actually, okay, I'm gonna upload it real quick. Let me upload it real quick. Give me a second. But before I do that, party hostels. Just partying every night, bro. Actually, no, I gotta put it down. I'm gonna put it down a bit because I realized I burnt myself out too much by partying too hard. I went 7 days in Spain. It was cold, freezing weather. People were still partying their ass off. I went to Instant Focus in Budapest. Shout out to all the G's who know that place. I went to this 5-story club in Barcelona. I've been into all the fucking most popular ones, and they were really cool. And just having those nights where you're drinking and you're partying, or you have those late night talks, they're really cool. So I think it's good. Just don't overdo it. Social hostels. And apologies for this audio change. And you've probably seen this new mic. I need to get a fucking better mic set up. If this video gets 1,000 views, I sound like this goddamn YouTubers, but if this video actually gets 1,000 views, I'm gonna buy a new webcam, new fucking mic. Like, I need that shit. But you know, extra view would help. I'm broke. No, I'm just kidding. But social hostels, the people or the advice that, oh, don't book a social hostel, it's not worth it. And to this I say, trash. It's fucking trash advice. If it's your first solo trip, definitely get a social hostel, even if you're introverted. And the way I think of this is, set yourself up in the beginning so that you don't have to worry about, you know, socializing and all that crazy shit later. And the best analogy I can give to this is, if you're an introvert, say this is your energy bar, right? The Mac Peak energy bar. This is like the bar right here. And you know, this is the lowest, this is the highest. And when you're at a new country, let's say you're jet lagged, you're a bit anxious, especially if your first trip, you only get about halfway through. This is probably like halfway through. You expended probably half your energy, you're tired, you want to fucking sleep. But if you're at a social hostel, you book, say, 4 to 6 bedroom dorm, party social hostel, or people who are very vibrant. I made a video guide on how to make friends instantly, but in general, you want to search for social hostels which are rated 9.5 stars and above. They have comments like they're fun, friendly, social, and you also want to make sure that the images or the environment just looks good, and also book a dorm as well. But once you get all that sorted, back to my analogy, you'll be halfway through here. And if you spend those first couple of days just talking to people, making friends, you won't feel like it. You'll be like, fuck, like, I just want to sleep, I just want to chillax. But take the pill, swallow the pill, go for it, expend all the energy. You'll probably be like fucking dead tired, partying so much in the first 2 to 3 days. But after that, you'll have probably at least 5 to 10 different people you can hit up on Instagram, whatever social media you use, or just fucking phone, WhatsApp. And afterwards, you can relax, chillax by yourself, go out, drink cafe or drink coffee, drink whatever you want, experience whatever you want, go on that little venture by yourself for maybe one day. And you have all these people you can hit up, and you're like, oh, hey, like, I'm going to do this, do you want to do that? And because you have that leverage, you're more relaxed in the next coming days, rather than, say, for example, you're solo first for 5 days, you book a hotel rather than a hostel, and afterwards you kind of feel lonely, and it's kind of hard for you to make friends. That's the way I like to experience or travel, and it's pretty subjective, up to the person. But I say it's general trash advice, other than like maybe some really trashy party hostels where there are a lot of like young kids and whatever, just fucking around and doing stupid dumb shit. But in general, like even the social hostels or any party hostels, if you look into it properly, and these are some really cool digital nomads you can meet, or people from different cultures who just have really cool jobs or different personalities. This is really useful, and it'll set you up for success. So I just think it's trash advice. I'm not going to put it in absolute dog shit, because there is some merit if you want to book a hotel and you really just want to enjoy the trip by yourself. Like maybe you're that social guy and you're like, fuck, I don't want to talk to anyone at all. I just want to know what it's like to be by myself, to understand my thoughts, and actually discover myself, as they say online. Go for it. But in general, first solo trip, first time going somewhere, trash. And this leads me to the next advice, the idea that solo travel will fix or change, or solo travel will fix your life. And to this I say, trash advice. I'm not going to put in absolute dog shit, because there are times when you're able to see things more clearly, and it'll maybe allow you, when you come back, to see a new lens to things that you wouldn't be able to experience. Like, for example, I came back from Europe and I was able to understand that I had this interest of YouTube, even dating back further back. But I think after experiencing some time alone, it allowed me to see what I really wanted with my purpose in my life. And I think that's why people say it'll change your life. But I don't agree with the idea that it will fix your life, because if your life is shit, you go on a solo trip and you come back, it's still pretty shit, because you still have like jobs, you still have bills to pay, you still have people to deal with, and go back to normal life. And it's only a short-term fix to a long-term problem. So this is trash advice. Solo travel won't fix your life, but it'll make things more clear. I'm not gonna disagree with that. It'll make things more clearer, but it's up to you to fix that. And solo travel is not a means to an ends. And this next advice is the idea of you have to wake up early every time, or like generally wake up early during your solo trip. So that I say, it's alright. It's not that crazy. It's not gonna fucking kill your trip. It's not gonna ruin it, but it's also situational. Like, are you up partying all night for 7 days in a row like I did? Yes. Are you able to wake up early? No, because I'll give you an anecdote. We would party probably up until 4 a.m. And I'm a bit... this is actually crazy to say. 4 a.m. is actually pretty early in terms of partying in Europe or in Spain or whatever. I come back. I had shared a dorm room with 3 other guys. I've napped from like 5 to 7. I'd get waking up by 7 because another guy will come in from the hostel still partying. He'd come back, we say hello. He'll be like, brother, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, brother, I'm gonna smoke a stoogie soon. I'm gonna smoke a blunt soon, or whatever. And he comes back and he's like, good night, man, good night. I look at my watch and I'm like, what do you mean good night? It's 7 a.m., bro. It's 7 a.m. This guy's leaving at 7 a.m. And he party on until like fucking midnight to 4 a.m. or midnight to 7 a.m. So if you're in those situations like I was, then it's pretty hard to wake up early. But if you're a morning rise and grind kind of person, or just a kind of a morning owl, it depends on you. But this is alright advice for me. Next piece of advice is don't do X because of Y. So for example, don't go to Thailand or Bali because you'll get kidnapped or robbed. Don't go to whatever country because it's too dangerous. Don't solo travel because it's too dangerous. And I want to make it clear, this is coming out of people who've never experienced or done that themselves. So those people who are saying like, oh, don't go to Bali or Thailand because it's dangerous, or you get robbed, whatever. Those are the people I'm saying this advice you shouldn't listen to. Actually, no, just not in general, man. I think it's just absolute dog shit, because it should be up to you to figure out what you want to do. Like, don't let people dictate your life, man. Like, just experience it yourself, try it out. If it's shit, congrats, you know it's shit. If you try it out, people have been saying it's shit, but it's actually good, then you lost the opportunity because you listen to other people. Like, I'm an Asian guy. I'm pretty sure you can see from my face. But my parents didn't want me to go to Bali, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go anyways. They said it was dangerous. I'm gonna get fucking robbed. I'm gonna get alcohol poisoning. I'm gonna turn blind. I'm gonna be this, be that. I went there. I'm still here. Nothing happened, and it was probably the best solo trip experience I've had. Period. So this is more hitting hard to home, but I'd say just don't listen to this piece of advice. I think it's just absolute dog shit. Those people who say don't do X because of Y, they kind of cope. They haven't been on a solo trip, so why should you even listen to them? The only experience is through online experiences, and it kind of clouds your judgment because they're not touching any grass, they're not going outside, they're not actually doing it themselves, and it's just kind of projection, in my opinion. So don't listen to this advice. Next one is don't use Instagram for itineraries. And to this I say, I wish there was something between C and D, but I think I put it in C because I think it's a bit trash, but it's also some merit to it, because you don't want to use Instagram solely for an itinerary, because these are more like popular kind of itineraries from, you know, creators and followers and people who live that more NPC lifestyle. But a solo travel is kind of NPC stuff. But anyways, you should use Instagram itineraries as inspiration rather than a must-do. Use it as inspiration, but don't make it your entire trip. Take pieces here and there, and based on different personalities. It's also really cool because you see a vast range of personalities. People are more introverted, people are more extroverted, people who love eating food, people who love sightseeing, people who love doing whatever. It's really good for that, but just don't take it at face value. Take what you need, apply it to what you know and what you want to do, and just go for it. The second piece of advice, which I believe is absolute dog shit, is the idea that you need to be rich before you solo travel. And to this I say absolute dog shit. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be a millionaire before you solo travel. There's a bunch of solo travelers who are backpackers who, you know, they travel with like a backpack and maybe like, excluding the flight fares, like maybe like $2,000 to their name, they travel for months on end. And it all comes down to budgeting, using your money wisely, and not being an idiot and flexing everything, or buying that expensive laptop in a new country, or just buying something expensive. It's about using your brain, using your brain and using the money wisely. And you can also take, like, I haven't done it myself, but you can also take jobs while you're in the country if you want to make the money. But I just don't believe you need to be rich. Like, you don't need to be a millionaire. Like, there's people with 9-to-5 jobs that are traveling every day, even to this second. So whoever says this, again, is just making up bullshit, and you just shouldn't listen to this. You don't need to be rich. You do need to have a okay amount of income, I'm not gonna lie. Like, a good amount or like okay amount. It just depends on how you travel. Like like for example, maybe I spent like 10 grand in all the way, 10 grand in total in those 41 days in these 10 countries. So depending on how you calculate it, that's an okay amount, that's a good amount. But you don't need to be rich. That's just bullshit. Next piece of advice is the idea that you should only book direct flights. And for me personally, I just like the comfortability of not having to worry about a transit. Like having a transit, in my opinion, is such a headache because, you know, if you miss that transit flight, it is a bit of a admin shit to deal with, and it's all that stress, and you like worry about your luggage, and you know, you just want to get home, you just want to sleep. But there's merit to it if you want to go cheaper, or there's some countries which you can't go. Like for example, since I live in Australia, I had to take a transit flight from Poland to Turkey to Kuala Lumpur to Sydney. So I had to take like 2 to 3 transit flights just to get back home. So there's merit to it, but the idea of always having to do so, it's not that true. And I kind of put it as C tier because it's situational. I don't really know what else to say about this because I don't have as much crazy experience with taking transit flights. But me personally, I think I'd be more comfortable with direct flights, but not agreeing with the idea of always doing it. So it's all right. Next piece of advice, addressing any visa details before you go. I think this is an absolute gem. I heard a story recently from a friend, a co-worker from work, a co-worker. He mentioned this story about how since he was from Greece, or he was Greek, when he went back to Greece for a bit of time, he couldn't stay there longer than, I believe, a month because his passport was still registered as a Greek citizen. And if you stayed like longer than 30 days, you would have to do conscription there. And that was to deal with all the fucking passport, visa details. And to this, I say like you should absolutely address it because it'll become a headache later. And another anecdote I can say is that same friend, he also mentioned he went to Vietnam for some reason without a visa, and border security pulled him over and said like, oh, you're lucky that we have you here, or like that we told you about it, because it would have been a headache. Like you would have been fined like maybe like I think it was 10,000 Australian dollars or however much it was. And you just don't want to have extra hassle when you solo travel. So dealing with any passport or visa issues is a must do. It'll change the trip 100%. Okay, down to the last two. So this second last piece of advice is downloading offline maps. This image isn't the best, but it's whatever. So the idea of downloading offline maps is, I mean, it's not gonna change the trip. Like it's not gonna make or break it, like passport, visa details or whatever as I detailed. But I think it'll be cool to have, especially if you run out of the net or run out of the eSIM data. It's just good to have. You have it mapped there. It's stress free. But actually no, it is. You know what? I'm gonna change it. This piece of advice right here, which is the idea of downloading offline maps, I think it's S tier because it's a game changer. If you don't have much Wi-Fi on you, or like you're running out of your eSIM data, and you just you know the places you're going to, then why not have it all prepared, have it all there, pretty easy. Not much else to say here. I think it's a game changer. Last piece of advice, lucky last. We have travel during off seasons. This kind of relates to a bit similar to the idea of never traveling or like always traveling in the best seasons. But I think the idea of traveling in off season is good because it will save you money. Maybe you'll experience something different that most people haven't done, like in a new culture, and new seasons bring kind of new atmospheres. So I think that would be really cool to experience. And also, you don't live with any regret in terms of having to wait for the right moment. I think it's just a good mindset shift. Like the idea that you don't have to wait for the perfect or right moment to do whatever you want. And the same goes with solo travel, with traveling in off seasons. So this is good advice. Take it as you will. And yeah, If y'all agree or disagree with this tier list, let me know in the comments below. And also, if you made it this far, give me one piece of advice which you think is either absolute gem or absolute fucking dog shit. And if you also subscribe, that'll help out the channel. Hope y'all enjoyed. Ciao.